Hello, Yate. Oh, Yate. Say, Delmar Socianisha. Edo Kodoi, the Nakashado. Our English should translate this one tradition, so the Willie Cheese and the Circle of Wealth at the presentation. It's a lesson for the four paths. I see, hey, the Heshitape so just well, I'm honored to share this with you today, a story that resonates deeply with our community and our shared journey towards understanding wealth and success. And we'll be exploring the journey of Willie Cheese, a young Navajo boy, as he learned valuable lessons about the different paths one can take in life. Lessons can be help guide us towards true wealth and freedom. Now, this presentation, Willie Cheese and the Circle of Wealth, is a lesson from the four paths. Will offer insights that are not only important for Willie, but for each of us who is watching this video today to seek and to improve our lives and the lives that's all around us as well, of our younger generations and maybe some of our older generations. I mean, that's really the whole idea here is help you understand the bigger picture of these stories. And I want to teach it through stories because most people don't resonate with certain things if it's not written through stories. So, but today's story is really just around Willie Chi and the Circle of Wealth, and it's a lesson of the four path. Kokodoya, the Willie Chi, she, the it's Tire the Yanin Laws Legend, yeah. She Hachin de Chin the Civic Center, or the Adelaide. She, they came together, she, he, he, it's T John Red Elk, the Legend, yeah, the Lakota Nation, she. Le are ni ya legends ti hi be I be wealthy do be rich legend ya. And she are the net not nesh ti the are be tadi ya ne bo hos aigi la ti be nan tin min yan ya she the she da she seminar na la she hosted the la legend ya. So Willie Cheese always been curious about how people made their money, especially those who seem to have so much of it while others and family struggle to get by, yeah. And so when he heard the Navajo group meeting was bring the guest speaker. It's a wealthy native from another tribe. And Dado Willie Tishan, he decided to attend. And he didn't expect what to receive from him. I mean, hoping to but he'll learn something from it. And for him and then the local community here. She does he is doesn't know. Kushinle, the net had the she they the nashi. La Sigo, which in the height, no, she no. She does teen, anything, not next teen, yen yajanya. Your call she. Willie Cheese CIC Bolitano hitish Arsenal Arania a Codis team she was team but see the Gregoshinia Legeniaho. I don't see a need net Legeniado. I don't Legenia Red Elk she John Red Elk she started ye lie out they he said that he had grown up in a poverty she like many of our Native Americans Christian hata the bitch in the height now Christian da around the eight other bohos I learned through many years of learning no she experienced ashin to it he nita ya it's other bohos ashin he either me kid get the tashin da out of a kiddo ask me based on it's other has liya I know she but not she had all the age on a lot of she and Antinia. Because John Red Elk began sharing his story, and he said he had grown up in poverty, much as many of the in this room. And through the years of learning and experience, he found a way to build wealth, not just for himself, but for his family and the community. And he spoke in ways that that humble. He was very humble and wise. And Willie Shiaisi, he did so he shared his stories that he called something he called wealth. That's the circle of wealth. And the circle of wealth, the worker, the self-reliant, the leader, the wise investor. And bunches of kids. How do you create your base? How do you make your money? Hali peso na nasishi. O tae are you self-employed? Ashnin land on nanahan niho. Peso batalon. Eh da peso this ya ho. Koshi John Shihata, the Mr. Red L Shihata Yatia. In our lives we all walk different paths to make our ways in this world. These paths are like the four directions, each leading to different places, yeah, different ways in life. And the real question is, which path are you on and where do you want to go? Because John, she don't know how to Arashi Yatil ni legend ya. But he raised up four fingers and then Nanja Makeda. Beat out four ways of peso just in engineer. The first one again, a worker and slow. That's you job and yet and most of these paths that are on, they trade time for money engineer. Working for somebody else, they're paid on wage, and it's a hard path, often very little reward engineer. And you do work, but the wealth is created that goes to someone else. Yeah. Hey, she but nonetheless, she lang base so it's all native on Johnny Lao, yeah. And they're like a corn planter sowing a seed but reaping only a small portion of the harvest. Yeah. 거중에 하다의 yes. But Kiraman is the case of worker. Yeah. The first path of worker is really just people that change time for money. They change time for money. Yeah. Quishing hours, but yeah, 40 hours, 50 hours overtime. Been the team, yeah. Oh, you hours, but you're selling your time away. Yeah. I don't know, kiddo. You put in too many times, so you never see very much of it because you're also getting tax up front. Yeah. Oh, you tax it's on the yeah. 40%, up to 40% in most states. Yeah. If you get a paid, if you get a paycheck for 5,000 a month, 5,000 a month, so 40% of taxes. Bekero, yeah, after the taxes, you're only making $3,000. Yeah. Out of bekero, not insurance. So she's not the yeah. Out of your paycheck, you probably end up with about maybe around $1,100, $1,200 that's after all the taxes. Yeah, it's not the path of a worker. It's a hard path, often with very little reward for sure. Yani. Koita yes, they thought you bungeon na siya, hota. If you work at a job, if you work for a company, yeah, corporation bungeon na siya, yeah, hota. Government bungeon na siya, hana na tayo, federal jobs na tayo, ato. She bungeon na she get paid by the hour, yeah. If you're getting paid by the hour, yani, you're selling time for money, yeah. You're changing your time for money. Then if you don't put in any time, then yeah, you don't make anything. Thought it's in the path of a worker, so she thought she John Red Elk, yeah, hot see ya. I don't be careful, self-reliant, not that no, yeah, not the neat legend, yeah. The second path is a self-reliant. On this path, you work for yourself. You might be a skilled craftsman, a healer, a trader, and then you can control your times and earnings, but you're also still exchanging time for money. What do you mean by that? Well, he's talking about, let's say, the non-launching, let's say you make jewelry. It's the banana. They you make turquoise jewelry, silversmithing. That's also a skilled craftsman. Yeah, you make really good money from it. Yeah, the jewelry that hey yo da. Although just sit yeah, hata yeah. Just yeah, you make rugs and stuff. Yeah, just you're self-reliant. You're a craftsman. You do all the work. You put so much time in it. Yeah. It's just you might spend a whole 2 3 weeks at it. I see my kid you I'll be kid it can here on the hand. I could that was it. That's all your time that you sold it for just for a little piece of money there. But it's still changing time for money. Yeah, you control your time for your earnings, but you still trade for time for money. It's a better path than the first, but also has limits. When you stop working, the money also stops. In this path, you're like the weaver creating beautiful blankets, but your wealth is tied to each thread you weave. Willie Cheez yan sa kesa ya. Leila jewelry owner lane legend ya sta legend na trading post na legend ya. Jewelry though she works hard, but she's always busy, but always worrying about making enough just to get by. Yeah. I think to hidden tin natin. Hey na John Willie Cheez ya hadzi. Halita nena nish teeth no siya. So that's why he put this together like this. Is you have to be self-reliant for yourself. No, she self-employed and no. But some people are like that. They also get stuck in the real world. Who are all these self-reliant companies? Yeah. In the bigger picture, doctors, yeah, lawyers that done they put all the time that they want. Kunna daw it's the vacation then they don't make no money. Då ten no butchen yeah then. I don't hate how they the big hatita here so. It ends not a case of self-employed. And these guys, do you know how much taxes they pay? 60%. 5,000 a month, long 60%. It's only that $2,000 ain't hardly yeah, that's what it's taxes, yeah. I don't care then Fishing $800-900 they die so sa bikero because you pay too much in taxes, yeah. It's 9 cases though. So this is the same thing as like the reservation job. Oh yeah, no, not that. You put all your time and effort into it and then you sell it once. Cool, at least bikero. But that's self-reliance. The third one again, the path of a leader. Yeah. John Red Elk. The third finger. But I get this thing. This is the third path. The path is different here. And this one is the path is different is to build something that works for you, yeah. And you build something that works for you even if when you're not working. This might be a business, hire others to work for you, create systems that generate wealth. This path requires vision, courage, but it offers great rewards. John Red Elk. On this path, you're like a sheep herder. Yeah, the best way the best do later no the next the be adigi elkin no ya aro e to chilia aro the next anan lozo the I kero ni chile here e ta the sheep herder who grows his flock to grows even to e ta the behali that's how you be more like gain your wealth yeah some people do it that way to borrow you the no they don't just buy one and they don't just have the females by itself, yeah. They start like need loss, yeah. There's a dog later, no, so yeah. Same thing with the sheep, sheep or the goat, yeah. They start though. There's a con. Hey, yeah. So, well, bunches of kids, hold on. These are some of the ways that you can widen your eyes, yeah. They think about the way you think about certain things. So yeah, John Red Elk, if you want to build something that works for you, even when you're not working, yeah, something might be starting a business or hire others to work for you, yeah. Most of the things that you got to understand is your time. Don't sell your time for what you're trying to do. You might use all your time to build something, but the reward is when you build it, you get something from it in return for longer term. A system thinking at the yeah. So طبعا in case how do you build this? No in case get right now. هشتغل بالناس تلاقي to create this like think about some people that own let's say let's say you go to a laundry man, yeah. Let's say you go to a laundry store, they have a pop machine there, yeah. They sold a machine, they saw legend yeah 50 cents, dollars, $2, yeah. Or a machine didn't have sense, Ado hashi location in ado buying ado chian bihatin spin yeah. Your snacks and all these stuff kushan and no ni kushi charge and ni the na peso ita yi nili nchini laya. That's a systematic business. Is you don't have to be there to sell it. Up in sa ape peso is yeah. Systematic business. Hota start in la legend ya sa license niya. Peso but sa don nido. Aros are nice and na but in case 10 different system license, yeah. Now you get 10 times the income. Yeah, but in case that's one of the ways. Aros at na go hasitation business na oh non hey hasitation nan na siya. Get your time out of the way, you pay for what people are good at. Just like a worker, they done yeah. Some people are really good at what they do. They might be a good worker that become let's say they they're good at building websites, yeah. Websites that's hida. Or they're good at teaching, yeah. He done that too. So but you gotta get yourself in an area where you have to get yourself out of the way, yeah. There's many ideas out there that you can look into. If you're younger and you know how to use a computer, maybe create digital stuff, videos. Maybe you can use your skills like Excel sheets, database. You can put these online for sale. Yeah, hishibandahani. Like sometimes it doesn't have to be a physical product. It can be mostly be digital nowadays. Yeah. Hadaban sin keso benas na jo das biniya. Call call le but also you got to think about it like system thinking this yeah. So if you think about system thinking, Jaiban Sinkesale, Harden Tilwadale, fast food restaurant, Tilwadajan, McDonald's, Tilwadaya. That McDonald's, Tilwadi, I don't lay down the road, there's another McDonald's, an honest allergen, I don't lay walk out an honest allergen, Lay Nanjo, Tilwadajan, McDonald's, Yahinia. McDonald's, that Yahinia, ni don't look out, any Yahinia, Alcohol, stay. Yahinia, alcohol, alcohol, stay, Bandahan here, so. The drinks are the same, the burgers the same. Ja. In ja, helt niet ja. Ja, het is a duplicatable business. A systematic ja. Zo tenante, press button this ja kan. Chian dat na ja to heat up dat ja. Kishi minutes cook dat na ja de set up dat ja. We gaan dat de ko bin ja. Drink order just in na hat ja. Just nas on we ja de cha ko de abbe hat de bito no. Hoi hoi ka ja. Yeah, business, systematic business. Like actually work the one that wants to work can work for you, yeah. But they a systematically creating the duplicating that that's a systematic business, yeah. But most people that are wealthy to this day, if you can own something like that that can pay you, you gotta create your vision, yeah. You have to start with that. Out of the fourth one, yeah, yes, the wise investors, yeah. John, no, Mr. Red Elk, no, yeah, this is the few past people will ever reach, and that's true wealth. This is where money works for you. You invest in your other ventures and like land, ideas, and your wealth grows on its own. On this path, you're like the elder who plants a tree, knowing that they will give shade and fruit long after he's gone. Right? So just think about it that way. So this one is like let's say based on recently the vacato. Oh, you based on that's when you start investing in different things. Yeah, you can invest into lands, properties, real estate, or like apartment complexes. They hotels. Landa is ni ho idabagan to idabagan nando rent out this yeah every day bitchin the idea like every month bitchin the idea it's out this yeah these big investors invest no some people only think about bank basic business bank basic business no you gotta understand that side too and taxes yeah taxes man is the case you always think about the big portion of is everything that you ever work for in your life is going to be two things your income and your taxes. Taxes also. The government also beetje dat has the ahonan dan de bank quishing hatas I as a debt that he that kidal thought kan the ban sin case yego how big can you want to go that's why they do Willie Cheez if you want wisdom you got to create your own wisdom yeah but you have to have a vision I see how Diego I care on the legend yeah John Red Cloud Red Cloud it's a Red Elk nasa southeast na yeah. I don't care on this yeah. How do you want to make your base or how do you make your money yeah? Hasta peso da nige. Ara ya hadzi di. Most people, 90% of the populations today are on the left side of this circle yeah. 90%. First path is the worker and the second path is the self-reliant. I mean they work hard, but they'll never see true wealth before their time yeah. It's always going to be changing time for money, and time, as we know it, is very limited. We only live here in this planet for less than 100 years. Some people get to over 100 years, yeah. But time is not on our side, Danny. But if you just sell that time away for your life, then you'll never really succeed, and you won't place anything in life for just more of a job, right? But then about 10% of people are on the right side, yeah. Actually, business owners, on Leah. A lot of these 10 percenters are the ones that you work for. In case they are just based on this. And the government budget is just government. They're still workers too, but they also still sell their time for money. Yeah. Bank budget is not you sell time for money. And the actually you gotta go out there. You can create your own money. Yeah. different ways of different paths, honey. So you got to understand that portion of it. And most people that you might know today are on that side of the category. But in case, who in your family members right now are workers? Who in your family members right now are self-reliant, who are business owners? Hey, Dishi, which one are they? Do you own any family members? Do you know any family members or people that you work with are leaders slash business owners? Then, in case, where are they at? Because a lot of time people stay in the first two paths because of fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of failure, the lack of understanding about other paths. Sometimes this is the first time that's opening their mind to this, of this realization, yeah. But you gotta understand is how do you get to the level where you want to become a leader, yeah? How do you get to the level where money can work for you? But you gotta understand the first thing is really you have to understand it is how big do you want it? How big is your dream? What do you have for yourself? What is your purpose on this world, on this planet, yeah? Sometimes we struggle with ourselves. Ako tan siya sa case na. Sometimes we're just told to follow just go to school hard, go to work, get a full-time job. No, yeah. But a lot of times that is just a dead end. If you go to real education, does education really give you that information? Yeah. So John Red Elk, no. Yeah, see, legend, yes. That's just really the way you think. The main thing is got to think outside the normal education because sometimes people, when they graduate, they stop learning. They say, I'm not going to read another book now. No. Then they go find a job. Then they do that job over and over and over for the next 10, 15, 20 years, some 30 years or even 40 years. At the end of when they retire, sometimes they don't have money that they saved up for because all they did was work. But sometimes you got to seek different knowledge, different education, yeah. Learning about certain things. If you really want to become a business owner, the first thing I would probably recommend would be selling. How do you sell? Can you sell stuff? Or can you sell and teach yourself how to sell? That's what business is. You gotta say first thing you gotta understand that portion of it. The circle wealth is that these people are really good sellers, and that's how they make their wealth. It's just you up to you make a difference and shift your mindset, Yanni. You gotta take action on it. And Willie that night, after he went home, it says Willie walked home that night and felt a new sense of purpose. He knew the path that he was on, the path of a worker, was the same one his parents and many of his communities were on. But now he saw that there are many other paths that led to true wealth and freedom. Willie knew it wouldn't be easy, but determined to learn more, to seek opportunities and take the next step necessary to move into a new path. He thought of the circle of wealth and the four paths, and that knew that he wanted to be among the 10% who wants to walk the path of leaders and the wise investor. And in Willie's heart, desire is to really had to learn what he wanted. He knew that he can change. He can't change overnight, but it's a possibility if you can open your mind to it and start understanding what it is. This guidance of really the John Red Elk, I mean, he just really just thought about it from his perspective. Is that help you understand what you're looking for? The whole idea here is to find not just yourself, but you have to find what you want for yourself. Sometimes it might just be, hey, I need a new car. But sometimes we start thinking about, I'm just going to finance it. It's like going in a trophy store, yeah. Then they say, this is my trophy, you know. But then I say you want to buy a car and that's your trophy. But then you just finance it. There's really no dream involved in it. There's no hard work around it, yeah. Next thing you know, you just work for it. Budget, listen. Next thing you know, by the time you pay it off, the car's already gone again. Right? Bilaho na 5 years, 4 years financing lang, no? But if you make it as a dream to where you want to own it, then you got to work for it. It's just like playing in sports, yeah. If you play sports and you really want to win, you go after it, you learn the skills, then you go after it, yeah, Mikado. So you got to see it differently, different perspective, different teaching. And the same thing with this education here, with Willie Cheez education, on what you learn about this wealth side of it. What you got to do is really just think outside the box what you want. Sometimes might not be easy. Yeah, I mean, sometimes might not be the way that you want to live, but there's always going to be a way. So the best thing to do is start investing in yourself, invest in your mind, learn the education. Even when people says no to you, go overcome that. Because if they're telling you no, what is it that they're afraid of on their side? Because if you believe in your own mind of what you can achieve for yourself, dito John Red Elk, no, I grew up in poverty, niya. But my thinking changed. You gotta invest in yourself, yeah. And she got your heart now, your heart. See, we Willie Cheez, say he set out the journey for to change himself, and that's why he's sharing this with you today. Ishi na hata education ka hi na dia ko. Okay, I don't know. I don't tune in the taigido. There's not taigi. Thank you again. This is Willie Cheez Education. Yeah, I don't. There's gonna be more to come on different topics. So enjoy this one. Have yourself a great night. Okay, I'll go on.